Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Fit and Lit podcast. My name is Bridget Koenig, and I am your host. We're going to talk about a little bit about fitness, a little bit about literature, or just trashy books. But maybe not so much because in the past few episodes, I just totally skipped over the lit part and didn't talk about books at all. And we'll get to that why that has not been prevalent in the last few podcasts towards the end of this one. Reading. Oh, reading. Speaking of reading, I have notes today. So if you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, just look up Bridget Koenig or Fit and Lit podcast and it will pop up and you can subscribe and follow and do all those things because sometimes visuals are a little more fun or just kind of have it in the background of your day or as you're cleaning house or whatever you need to do. So this past week, so it's Tuesday. Normally I record on Mondays, but it's been kind of trending that I film on Tuesday mornings, which I'm kind of digging. Not gonna lie. I prefer the darker background when I record at night, but again, if you're watching on YouTube, but it's kind of nice to be kind of fresh and not exhausted by the end of the day. Because I'm not relying on caffeine to keep me up all night into the wee hours of the morning. So if you have been following, I have been caffeine free for 28 days now, which is a big deal. I love caffeine, and for me to be able to say 28 days without anything, I've been alcohol free for it'll be 4 years. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It'll be 4 years in March. I've been caffeine free for 28 days. I've done no THC, no shrooms, no nothing in the last couple months, and then just taking out caffeine these last 28 days. Like I've been relying completely on my own brain, which is great. And it's really helped me in my therapy journey because at night I would get really anxious and before I cut out caffeine, and I was thinking I was just drinking caffeine too late in the day, but this has still been happening a little bit here and there. And I notice it's when I do anything past 7:30. Past 7:30, my brain is just can't focus. Growing up, or not growing up, but in my adult life, I've always been a morning person. Throughout the military, you have to wake up super early. I've always been someone that wakes up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning to get their workout done before school or work or whatever. Before I started working here, before I opened my own studio, I was still doing that because as a mom, sometimes the only time you can get to yourself is in the morning. So I used to wake up at 5 a.m., do my meditation, do some stretches, maybe get in a little bit of a workout at home and just have that time to myself. Well, now all of my work is in the evening and I don't get home till super late. So my days are kind of flipped. So I kind of relax during the day and then get all my work done in the evening, because now that the kids are in school, that's the only time I really get to myself is when they're at school. So my days have been kind of flipped, and it's taken me 2 years to get used to it and to kind of figure out my circadian rhythm again. But it has been great. And I'd say the last week, I'm noticing that it's not the caffeine, it's just my brain past 7:30 just doesn't want to work anymore. Any decision making, any filming a podcast, for example, is just so much on my brain. I just I can't. My my body's like, nope, you're not doing this. So but I honestly don't know if I want to go back to caffeine because I've been doing so good without it. my skin has been clearing up, but again, I don't know if it's because of the caffeine or because I've been taking extra good care of my skin. When I got my lashes, like I noticed that I'm so aware, like I don't want to touch my face. I don't like want to rub anything. And I'm like trying to keep it really clean. So like I just started so many things at one time that I'm not quite sure why my face is like this clear. Plus I got that facial, which I have another one tomorrow. It's like a mini facial, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm really happy with how my skin has been. It's been skinning. Um, and this is great. I did get one giant zit right here on my cheek, which sucks, but my period's coming up soon and it's a full moon, right? I think it's a full moon, I'm pretty sure, or it's like getting really close to it because that moon is freaking full. So any of my full moon sisters, leave me a comment. Let me know if we're on the same cycle. But this past week was Thanksgiving. I know you're tired of hearing about Thanksgiving. So I'll make it short and simple. But my kids had been with my parents for like that whole week. So Saturday through actual Thanksgiving, they were with my parents. They went camping, doing all the fun things. And Thursday morning, we picked them up and they had gotten sick, like right, I guess, uh, here, but then when they went with my parents, they were sick. So we picked them up sick, and the rest of the weekend, we just hung out and we didn't do too much. And it was so nice because, I mean, it sucked that they were sick. Like nobody likes to be sick, but it was nice because we didn't, we couldn't do anything. It kind of reminded me, like, like in the good old days, a couple years ago, not going to mention anything, or we couldn't go anywhere and you kind of had to like have fun at home. It kind of reminded me of that. And it just like to slow down, to take care of your space. I cleaned my room. We put up curtains in our room. We decorated the Christmas tree. We wrapped up all the presents that we had, put them under the tree. I collect nutcrackers. So we got the nutcracker box out. Like it was just a really good, relaxing weekend. The kids were supposed to start school yesterday, but there's like this nasty cough going around. So I just kept them home from school yesterday, and then they were fine yesterday. So I was like, you guys are going to school today. Like it's been too long. So, yeah, it's just been very, very relaxing. And it's nice to be able to just like take a step back. But now as we go into the Christmas season, we have like events coming up and just planning for the holidays. I pretty much have all of my Christmas shopping done. I'm done with the kids. I'm done with my husband, my mom, my sister, my nephews, just the people, my friends that I want to give gifts to. Like I have everything already all set and it feels so good. This is like, it's not even December yet and I'm done. I've never been this type of person to do this, but thank you to early Black Friday sales. Thank you to the Cyber Monday. Like I'm still waiting for a few things to be delivered, but everything's done and it's so nice. It's so freaking nice. But there's a lot of things that I do want to focus on in December. So I'm not focusing on presents and shopping and all of that. I want to be able to spend my time with experiences. So I have a little bucket list that I want to get. Like there's some things that I want to do and it's all with my family. And I'm like, these are the things like I for sure want to do. So, every year at the studio, we have a parade that goes down our main street. And since we're located right on the main street, we have a parade watch party and it's actually this Friday. So I'm really excited for that. But we get all together, all of my members and clients, like their families and friends come by and we have snacks and hot chocolate and we sit outside and watch the parade. And it's really nice because we have the indoors, like we have the option to come inside and not just freeze out on the street. There's a bathroom here. So people with small kids don't have to, worry about that or like hold it, like, or then have to get in their car and try to drive home. Like it's just so much nicer. And we have a big parking lot. So it's always a good time. So that's one of the things that I'm really excited about. And then I really want to do zoo lights. There's a zoo around here that has these like beautiful light um shows, all Christmas lights, like all different kind of animals. And my kids are obsessed with animals. Like we love animals, but so zoos are kind of like one of those weird things for me where like there's pros and cons, right? Like as a vegan or like a plant-based person, like you should be against zoos. But like that's fine if like that's what you believe. And there are certain animals that I'm just like gorillas, for example. I like I just like they're so close to humans. It just makes me so sad. Like I can't go look at the enclosures for gorillas or like monkeys. Like it's just so they're so close to humans that and they're so freaking smart. And that goes for a lot of animals, but like at the same time it's like we would have no other way to look at these animals up so close and to kind of like study them and like learn about them, and especially for kids to be able to see them. And I think there's a lot of respect that needs to go into zoos. So, taunting the animals from the outside or growling at them or scratching at the glass or, dancing outside of like there's a lot of respect that I think needs to be taught when going to zoos. But it's kind of on the fence. Like I said, like there's pros and cons. So my kids love the zoos. Um, of course they're kids. So, but that's something that I really want to do is go to the zoo and look at the zoo lights. There's like, it's just holiday, like and I think that that would be really fun to do as I'm seeing everyone posting pictures and stuff. So that's something I really want to do with respect. And then we have another one in the opposite direction to us that has this huge Christmas market. We've gone every year that we've been here, that we've been able to go, and it is just amazing. It's this cute little coastal town, and they have this huge walkthrough of Christmas lights. There are like all of the oh my gosh, like the songs, like the typical songs, the 12 days of Christmas. Oh my gosh, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Santa's there sometimes. I think they have a train, but we always have gone on a weekday when they don't run it. I might be wrong about that, but I'm going to double check, of course. And then did I say Santa's there? I think I said that already. Santa's there. There's like a snowy area where they like blow snow up in the air. There's market, like an actual market. We've gotten some things from that market. We've got this beautiful like German carved smoker is what it's called, and it's basically like a little elf or like a little woodland guy, gnome guy. I don't know the correct like what they're actually called, but it looks like a little garden gnome. And in like it's hollow, it's carved out, but inside it's hollow, and you put like one of those cone incense inside, and it looks like he's blowing smoke out of his mouth. And it's part of like a German tradition where you light your smoker the night before Christmas to get out the negative spirits or like the negative energy, which a lot of people use incense for that. And it's just so cute. And everything has been foraged. Like the one that we got, everything on it has been foraged from like a forest in like Germany. It's so cute. But just like little things like that that are just so special that you can purchase there. And then of course they have hot cocoa and pretzels and mulled wine, hot apple cider, things like that. And it's just a really fun time, and there's just lights everywhere. Oh, and my favorite part is they have all these Santas. So, well, like versions of Santa. So like they have Krampus, uh the oh my goodness, it's right on the tip of my tongue. There's one La Bufana. La Bufana, I think is what it's called. But they have like, and then Old Saint Nick, one of the like actual like Saint something, I don't know. I'll have to, when I go, it'll recharge my memory, but they have like these little scenes of like each country or religion or region, like what they believe in as far as like who, like just, kind of like the creation of Santa Claus. And I think it's so cool to learn about other cultures and things like that. So I'm really excited. If you cannot tell that I'm really excited to go. So that's one of the things. Another thing that I really want to do is go to a Christmas tree farm. I've never been to one, and I just like I don't want to get a Christmas tree. We already have a Christmas tree we use every year, but I don't know, like just being there, and usually they have, like s'mores and like a fire pit, and I want to take pictures and just like be in the little forest and like smell the pine, um and just kind of like, romanticize it a little bit, because I feel like Christmas tree farms are so prominent in like Hallmark movies and stuff. If you follow me on Instagram last year, I did it took a while for people to figure it out, but when we went to one of the Christmas markets, I dressed like I didn't dress up, but I had on one of my red wigs, and I was pretending like I'm going home for the holidays. And then we went to a thrift shop, and I was pretending like it was like my grandpa's basement. And I was like, this is my, it was like some old shoe. This was my little brother's shoes, but he was in a horrible reindeer accident when he was 8 years old. And like, we still love it, like stupid stuff like that. And I just like, used my husband, like, oh my gosh, there's a cute guy over here. Should I go talk to him? It was just so much fun. And it's really fun to like romanticize, just like little things, like don't like, take the stress out of it and just have fun. So that's another thing that I want to do. And of course, every year we like to walk around our neighborhood, or not our neighborhood, but we'll go to a different neighborhood and we'll walk around and try to find like the brightest lights. And sometimes we'll take the dogs and we'll just walk around and just look at people's lights. So it's a good way to get outside, get some exercise. You get to get all bundled up and look at people's lights in a different way without just driving, like zooming past. So, and you get some exercise. I think I already said that, but you get some exercise. So I'm really excited to look. I'm looking forward to doing those things. Another thing that I'm looking forward to is I am in week 4 of my running journey. I've been doing a 6-week running training program through Peloton Outdoor. And I'll leave the link down below if you want to try it for 60 days for free. But I'm in week 4 and I haven't missed a day. So over halfway through, because I just did a run this morning, and let me tell you, running has been getting so much easier. Like the more that I do it, the more comfortable I feel running, and the more I'm like trusting my body, because I had such a disconnect while I was injured with my back that it feels so good to be able to feel connected to running again. I used to run in the past. If you didn't know, I've ran a couple marathons, lots of half marathons actually, an ultra marathon, and my back, after I had my daughter, just would not let me run anymore. So I took a break for rehabbing my back, and oh my gosh, I can't tell you how much relief, like physical and mental relief, it is to be able to run again without pain. Like I'm so freaking thankful. But I do blame a lot of this being able to stick to my program on my mental health, because my mental health is the most stable it has ever been. I've talked about this before, but I cannot recommend it to you enough. Talk therapy. Talk therapy has helped me so freaking much. It has taken so much weight off of my brain, like so much space out of my brain, because I would like fixate on certain events that happened. Like I would be just drinking water and then think of like something horrible, and it was taking up so much space in my brain that I couldn't even relax. I couldn't focus on the things that I wanted to focus on to be productive in any part of my life. I was so down on myself, talking negatively, and you can't hate yourself into a body that you're gonna love. So like I said, I can't recommend it enough. Talk therapy should be for everyone. You don't have to be anxious, depressed, or even like have any main issues going on, but even just taking a little bit of a dive into how you're feeling can really clear up so many things. And I recommend it for anyone and everyone. But anyway, that's how I'm able to stick to this program. I am like 100% sure, because otherwise I would have given up on myself. I wouldn't have given myself any grace, and I would have gone way too hard. Right now I'm only running 3 days a week and then walking, like a recovery walk, once. So I have a um like a just an easy run, or like a walk run, interval training, and then an endurance run. So that's all I'm doing, and then a recovery walk every week. That's it. And oh my gosh, it's been so great. I ran for 45 minutes on Saturday. Ran for 45 minutes on Saturday straight through. It was great. It felt so good. Like running past, because I've only been running 30 minutes or run walking 30 minutes up until that point. So running 45 minutes felt so good. Like I was like, yes, because I've ran for much longer, like I think my ultra, I took like 8 hours. So like just getting to that 45-minute mark was like so nice. Like it felt so good. I wanted to go longer, but I was like, don't do it, because then you're going to be hurting the next day and it's going to just put off your training. So I was really proud of myself for stopping and taking that rest and taking it easy, because it is, once you get going, it is so it's hard to like stop, at least for people like me. I have a hair, if you're looking on YouTube, that is sticking out. So like the curl is just not curling the right way. So that's what I'm messing with. Okay, that's a little better. Kind of. I don't know. Okay, just ignore that. But okay, so because of that 45-minute run, I was a little bit sore. And on the actual like Peloton bike, there's a setting for entertainment. So you could watch, what do you call it? Netflix and YouTube and all of the things that you can watch on like, I think there's like HBO Max, or I think they call it like Max now. YouTube Pro, YouTube Plus, whatever the one that you have to pay for, premium, the like YouTube TV one. And then there's Netflix, Hulu, and ESPN, I think. There's like a ton of different options, which is really cool. But I started watching Twin Flames, or Escaping Twin Flames, I think it's what it's called. It's a mini docu-series, so it's like only 3 episodes. Each episode's like an hour or hour and a half, something like that. And I can't stop watching it. So I jumped on the Peloton just to get my legs moving yesterday morning, and I cannot stop. Like I wanted to just keep watching the show and like get my legs moving. And then I did the same thing this morning, because I'm addicted and I need to finish this show, this documentary. If you haven't heard about Twin Flames, or Twin Flames Universe, or the Church of Union, I think is what they call it. Oh my gosh. So it's basically like these okay, so this couple, they created this online virtual training thing to find your twin flame, or like your soulmate, the person that you're destined to be with. But the practices that they have for it is extremely toxic, and it's a cult, like straight up virtual cult. It's so wild. Like there's oh, it's so good. It's only three episodes, so if you're interested, go watch it. But basically, like, they started off where you would just join, like, oh, I have a hard time finding love, so you would join the group, and they would take you through all these trainings, and they would be like, there has to be, like, is there someone that you just feel so connected to? And it could be like an ex, or someone who might not even know you exist, or a coworker, or whoever, and they're like, that's your twin flame, you have to go after them. Like and then they like want you to do everything in your power to try to get them to love you. So there was a girl who like went to jail because this guy put a restraining order on her because she wouldn't leave him alone. Meanwhile, the leaders of this group are like, no, don't give up. Don't give up. And so she's like trying to follow this, but she's like literally going to jail, like had to live with her mom because her mom had to bail her out of jail because she broke this like restraining order by accident. Like it's so crazy. And then they start realizing like these people are having a hard time finding their flame, their twin flame on their own. So then they start pairing people up within the group. Well, like 80% of the group is all women. So they have like this thing where you're either 100% divine feminine or 100% divine masculine. Now, if I got paired up with a woman, one of us has to be divine feminine and one of us has to be divine masculine, to the point where they want you to change your name. They want you to be that man if you're a woman, but you are assigned basically to be divine masculine. So they're basically like forcing people to transition. And it's so wild. Like there's no bisexual. Like you are either feminine or masculine and that's it. There's no gray area. There's no room for like male relationships or female relationships. Like there's no, like that is not a thing. He said if there was a quote he said, and he's like, if you're a masculine with a masculine and you have sexual relations or whatever, that's like a handshake. That is not your twin flame. That's just like a handshake. And I was like, excuse me, what? Excuse me? Like, what? Oh, also, this guy thinks that he is God or Christ. He thinks that he is the Christ. And because they're like having this huge business, like it is bringing them so much money because you have to pay for these meetings and like these teachings to teach you how to find your twin flame. You or in order for them not to pay taxes, they have church. So it's a church, so they pay less taxes. So this guy's like saying that he is Christ, and he like looks over at his woman. He's like, if you have children, either skip this 30 seconds or just like mute it. He's like, he looks over at his wife and he's like, so how does it feel to be fucking the Christ? Like this guy really thinks that he kind of like looks like white depictions of Jesus. But you guys, if you have not seen it, like it is so crazy and it's still going on. Like there's somehow there's like they're not charged with anything, and it's so freaking wild to me. But just go watch it. There's so much more and I wish I could talk to you about it, but we just don't have enough time, and you can just go watch it. Okay, just go watch it. It is so crazy. It's on Netflix. It's called Escaping Twin Flames. So wild, you guys. Like I can't even. And the worst part is they show like Zoom calls that they had, because it's all virtual, of like the shit that this guy says. Like, and oh God, just go watch it. I'm gonna end that here. Just go watch it. Our challenge for December, our advent calendar challenge, I'm gonna call it a quote air quote challenge, because it's not a challenge, it's just a healthy advent calendar. It started yesterday. On Monday we have 22 girls in the group, which is so fun because 22 I feel like is manageable, where everyone can still like know who is participating, and it's not overwhelming where every day you see a new name that you didn't know. So that's the great thing about starting these challenges with me now, because my goal is to grow. I want to have more and more people in these challenges, every single challenge that we do. And if you start now, we definitely are going to, don't you worry, you're hearing it first. Of course, we're going to have one starting January 1st, but we're going to have a little twist to it. Okay. It's going to be a little bit more long-term, a little more involved. So don't tell your friends to listen to this podcast so they can hear this. Okay. But anyway, so each challenge we have, each time a little bit more people join, a little bit more people join. When you start now, you start to get involved and like get connected to these women. You start to see these names pop up over and over and over again. And you could be like, oh, that's so and so that does a workout every single freaking day. Like, I want to be like her. Oh, this is so and so. She's meeting her nutrition goals like pretty much every day. Like, I need to get on that level. I'm going to cheer her on. Let's give those thumbs up. Let's give those exciting, there's like little emojis you can click. Like, let's work on this together. Let's see more names in this chat. Let's see more people finishing their workouts. Let's see more people getting involved. And like I said, that's what's so cool about it being small right now, is that you get to form these relationships without it being too overwhelming. So it's a really good group of girls. We have a workout today. It's called Milk and Crunches for Santa. So I'm actually going to do that workout right after this podcast, after I record this. And it's a quick 10-minute ab workout. So it's really cool. I'm really proud of this program, and I'm really proud of what I am building. So be on the lookout for the next one. Okay. So now that we have talked about the fitness part, let's talk about the book part, the lit part, the literature, and or lack of literature. So I have been busy. Like, I have been focusing on this podcast. I have been focusing on creating new challenges. I have been focusing on family quite a bit. I have been focusing on my studio and making sure that my clients are taken care of. I've been promoting my studio for our 2-year anniversary, which is just crazy, like 2 years. What? I'm back on TikTok as of yesterday. I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm basically just reposting stories and little videos here and there. I'm just taking it easy to start with, but I am back on TikTok. It's Bridget.Koenig, and I'm back on Threads. I am on YouTube. I'm on podcasts like Instagram. I'm kind of everywhere. So, but I am not going back to Facebook. Sorry, not sorry. Facebook is horrible. I hate Facebook. But what I was saying. Oh, so I just haven't been reading. I've just been really busy focusing on other things. I have been reading currently Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros, the second book in the Empyrean universe series. If you have not read The Fourth Wing, you need to. You absolutely need to. It is so good. And Iron Flame is just as good. Zayden is my book boyfriend. Please be my book boyfriend. I love Zayden. I love me some Zayden. And I just love Violet's like go get her, go get them. I'm tough, even though I'm small attitude. And I'm only about 18% of the way in. This is a thick book. This is like a 650-page book. And the writing is small. According to Kindle, it's like 800 something pages. It's a lot. So it's going to take me a while, especially because of at the rate that I am reading it. I know it's still November, so it's okay. Better late than never. But I wanted to talk about the 2 books that I read in October. And the first one is Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. Did I talk about this one? I think I did. I think I talked about this one, but I'm going to just recap real quick. Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. It is available on Kindle Unlimited if you have a Kindle or Kindle Unlimited. And it is so crazy. It's about this girl. She's like a drug addict. I feel like I talked about it. Oh my gosh, I might have talked about this in another podcast. But she's a drug addict, and is she a drug? Yes, she's a drug addict. She just got out of, okay, so Hidden Pictures and The Housemaid are very similar in the fact that both of these women are like not the cleanest people. There's involvement with drugs and or being in prison or jail, and they both got out looking for a job. So in hidden pictures, the girl is a babysitter for this little boy, and he starts drawing like these weird pictures of this woman, Anya, and there's like all this weird stuff happening. She's living with this family in this cabin behind their house, and just weird stuff happening, like really weird, creepy, paranormal stuff. There's a forest that surrounds their home. Oh, I'm getting chills. Oh, this book was so good and so freaking creepy and just so good. I rated it a 5 stars and I finished it on October 10th. So I definitely talked about it before. Then we have The Housemaid. So this woman, she's a young girl, I guess. And she just got out of prison, and she goes to this house to be a housemaid. And there's this creepy attic that she has to live in that is upstairs. And just weird stuff is happening. The woman who owns this house is just like all over the place, like blaming her for everything. And she's just trying to like make a living. Like she was living out of her car before she got this job. She's like, I'm just trying to like, not live in my car. I'm trying to make a little money. Like I just got out of prison. No one else will hire me. So like, I'm just trying to do my job. She's trying to make this lady happy. They're like super rich. Her daughter's freaking weird. And that's all I can say. And I feel like I talked about this one too. I don't know if it's because I talk about it with my friends all the time, but that book, if you are needing to get out of a rut, read that one. It will for sure get you out of that rut. Another book that I started was the St. Ambrose School for Girls. I talked about this one a little bit in my October TBR podcast, so you can go listen to that one. And I feel like I started so many books that I just never finished. And it's sad because I love to read. And you know what? I'm going to make it my goal this week to actually finish a book. I'm looking at my Goodreads want to read list, and there are so many that I freaking want to read. So if you have this book, just looking at it is just giving me the chills because I love the Dreamland Billionaire series. I love that series. I've never read anything like it. And I fell in love with it. So basically this family, the Kane family, their grandfather, so it's 3 brothers. Their grandfather died, and he was like the creator of Dreamland, which is essentially, just pretend it's Disneyland because it is Disneyland, okay? So the first son, in order to get his inheritance, he has to make improvements to the park, but he can't do it on his own. So of course he finds someone and falls in love, blah, blah, blah. Then the second son, he has to get married in order for him to get his inheritance. So there's fake marriage, or like, what do you call it? Marriage of convenience, so that he can get his inheritance. And of course he learns some lessons and they fall in love, blah, blah, blah. The last one, the brother his task is he has to fix up this lake house and sell it in order to get his inheritance. But when he goes to knock on the door of this lake house, his ex-girlfriend is still living there. And she's like, oh, hell no, you're not selling my house. Your grandfather gave this house to me. So of course they have to work through some things. And of course they fall in love. Then this book just came out by Lauren. These are all by Lauren Asher, by the way, which she's amazing. These are all available on Kindle Unlimited too, so you can read them. Love Redesigned. It's the Lakefront Billionaires series. The Lakefront Billionaires, which means that lake house from the Dreamland Billionaire series is part of this So there's a lot of cameos. There's a lot of cameos with the Dirty Air series, which is another series by Lauren Asher within the Dreamland Billionaire series. Like they talk about certain characters, and I just think it's so cool to have them interconnected. And I really want to read this Love Redesigned book because Lauren Asher's the best. Her books are very spicy, but there's like it's not just like the whole book is smut. It's like there's a lot of character development, and usually her books are pretty thick, but when you're reading them, it doesn't feel like that. Like her writing just feels so, it just flows, and like everything just goes, like you just like are turning page, turn the page. So highly recommend that one. I am in the middle of The Block Party by my phone. Goodreads is like horrible. Like it always just shuts off randomly. Who is it by? It's on Kindle Unlimited, which is why I never remember. If I have the hard copy book, I see the author's name the whole time. Like it's usually on every page, so it like sticks in my brain. But on Kindle Unlimited, I always forget who the author is. This one is it's called The Block Party by Jamie Day. And this one is very reminiscent of Leanne Moriarty's writing. And I feel like I talked about this one too. Man, I'm like so far behind on talking about books with you guys. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I know I already talked about it. So I'm going to talk about this other one that I really want to read next. It's called Cutting Teeth by Chandler Baker. And basically it's a horror thriller, I guess. So basically this group of moms, they all have like toddlers, and they turn into vampires. So they have to take care of these toddler vampires. And I heard that this book, Cutting Teeth by Chandler Baker, is very close to something by Grady Hendrix, which, if you know me, I love me some Grady Hendrix. Grady Hendrix wrote Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires, and My Best Friend's Exorcism, The Final Girl Support Group. Absolutely love his writing. It's funny and comedic, but it's horror. Like it's just so good. How could I forget this? Speaking of comedy horror. Okay, so me and my husband's 9-year date-iversary. Do people celebrate that? Their date-iversary. So our 9-year date-iversary was the week of Thanksgiving. Our first date was supposed to be Thursday or Wednesday night, so the night before Thanksgiving, of course, because we were drinkers and partiers back then. So the night before Thanksgiving, heck yeah, first date material. Don't recommend, do not recommend, but that's our story. So oh yeah, and also we couldn't wait until then, so we had a date that Monday. I believe it was that Monday, and it went into Tuesday, and then we went out again on Wednesday. So our second date, I guess, was the night before Thanksgiving. Oh yeah, and then I met his family on Black Friday. Talk about moving fast and love bombing, right? Don't recommend, but it worked out for us. But don't recommend. But I wouldn't do anything different. So we celebrated by going to see a movie because we have 2 small kids now, can go see a movie. If we go see a movie, it's like we have to find a babysitter, we have to find this and that and that. And if we have to go through all that, we're not going to go sit and watch a movie. If we take our kids with us to the movie, it's like we miss half of it because we're going to the bathroom. Someone needs snacks, someone's bored, Otto, when he was like 2 years old, we took him to a movie. We were the only ones there. He just straight up walked out of the theater. I was like, wait, hold on, because they were kind of playing in the aisle. We were the only ones there. It was Frozen 2. We went and saw Frozen 2. I remember it like it was yesterday. We were sitting there. The kids were just kind of running around playing, and then they'd come sit, eat some popcorn, and run around. Otto was like barely 2. Goes running up the aisle. The door opens. The whole theater fills with light, and then the door shuts, and Otto is gone. And so I get up and like run. He's like in the next theater over. But thank goodness we like live in a really small town. There wasn't a lot of people. There was like two other people in the other theater that he went into. No big deal. It all worked out. Don't recommend taking your kids to a movie. But speaking of comedy, horror movies, Thanksgiving. Okay, so we went and saw Thanksgiving. Like that's the name of the movie, Thanksgiving. This movie was so crazy. So crazy. So I love a good slasher. I love a good comedy. I love a good comedy slasher. The kills in this movie were gruesome, like so gruesome. The thing that threw me off the whole time was that McSteamy or McDreamy, if you know, you know, from Grey's Anatomy, was there, and he played the cop. And I was like, I had to do a double take. I was like, aren't you dead? Did you die like 10 years ago? Who are you? What? Why are you a cop now? So it was kind of cool to see that actor again, just because if you watch Grey's Anatomy, you know. And oh my gosh, but then it got me thinking, and I miss the old school Grey's Anatomy. Like I don't even know if it's still on now, but I stopped watching 2020. Like it just got too real. Like I'm here to escape. Y'all need to take those masks off, please. Stop talking about the C word, please. Because I'm trying to escape and not fill my mind with even more virus anxiety. So I stopped watching it, unfortunately, but I really do miss Grey's Anatomy from the beginning. When I was pregnant with Ramona, I watched that, like I binged the show. I had never seen it before, and I started from episode 1, season 1, just binged it, and then I didn't finish it until after she was already born. So I remember her laying on the couch when she was like, a couple weeks old, and she would turn her head and watch the show, and I was like, she's gonna be a surgeon one day. She's gonna be a surgeon. She's just taking in all of this Grey's Anatomy, but I miss those days so much. But if you like comedy, horror, slasher films, this one is it. It is so good. They're just like the kills are, oh, they're so wild. They're so freaking wild, dude. Okay, okay, so the first opening scene takes place like the year prior on Black Friday. Well, it's on Thanksgiving night, like when doors open, whatever. And there's like a riot outside because people, they want in that freaking store. They want in the store, so they're like literally like murdering each other over like a free waffle iron. It's just like it's so ridiculous. And like I said, if you like it, I would recommend. We were laughing the whole time. We were like, oh, like I had my eyes closed the whole time just because like the kills were so ridiculous, and it was just such a good time. There was this guy in front of us, and he was like obviously like on the autism spectrum, but his commentary was so funny. And part of the reason why I like going to scary movies in the theater is because you get the commentary of the people around you, or like the screams, or like the like the like, oh hell no, or like turn around girl, what are you doing, like that kind of commentary. It's so fun to me. As long as it's not obnoxious, I really enjoy it. And this guy, like, he was sitting directly in front of me, and he was like, had his popcorn, and he was just having like the best time ever. He was like, oh man, he's like, that was so cool. Or like if somebody would say something like, that's so funny, like, and he would just laugh, this like infectious laugh, and it just added to the experience. So it was really, really nice. But I wouldn't recommend buying a sparkling water at movie theaters because they're freaking $7. Like one of those bubbly, like the brand bubbly, $6.50. I bought a pack of the Sour Patch Kids, $6.50. I was like, I could go across the street to 7-Eleven and spend $3. That's another reason why we don't go to the movies very often, because what the heck, like it's gotten so expensive, so expensive. But one of my goals, like I was saying, is to finish a book this week. And then I want to get into some of the December holiday books, and I'll go over my holiday TBR with you, but I will probably not read them if I stay on this path. So what I'd like to know is, like, tell me I want to know what books you're going to read this holiday. And I also want to know what your favorite audiobook was. Like not the book itself, like the content, but like the best performed um audiobook is that you've listened to. I know that um oh my gosh, Taylor Jenkins Reid, the Daisy Jones and the Six. I know that that one is like amazing. I've already read it though, so I don't want to listen to it, but I know like that one's amazing. But if you've listened to that one, I want to know one that you would recommend that's like similar to that, where like there's like the full cast, the story's good, it's engaging. Because I really want to start doing that. I'm caught up on a lot of my podcasts that I've been listening to, and a lot of the podcasts I listen to are spooky, like Two Girls, One Ghost, Sinisterhood, um, Spooked, Rattled and Shook, Spooked, and oh my gosh, what's the name of the other one? But I've been listening to a lot of spooky ones, and I kind of want to get, like I said, some reading done. I haven't found any, Morbid, Sinisterhood, National Park After Dark. Take note with these because these are some really good ones. Oh my gosh, there's one other one that I can't think of right now. I just listen to so many, and like I said, I'm listening to it, so I'm not looking at it. Oh, and That's Why We Drink. I really like that one. Oh, and Creeps and Crimes. There's so many that I've been listening to, but I'm caught up, and I need something that's not so spooky to listen to, and hopefully a book because my TBR is suffering. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So that is all I have for you today. I've been really enjoying the season of life that I'm in. I'm at the point where I had a conversation with my therapist yesterday about taking a therapy break because I feel like I'm on the right track. I feel like I'm cruising, you know? There's a lot of little things that I'm noticing that I'm snapping myself out of, where before I would like fester. Is that the right word? Fester? Uncle Fester? That I would like fixate on and like not be able to get out of my brain. But I've been able to snap out of it really quickly, or like not take things so personally, or know that if somebody says something rude or mean to me, that it is probably not about me, and it's probably coming from some kind of insecurity or, something that they're not dealing with. So, but also knowing when to take responsibility for what I've done wrong and what actually needs to be apologized for. So I feel like I'm on a good path right now, and I'm in a really good spot. So we're going to be taking a break as of January, and I'm really excited that I've gotten to this point. And my therapist, Tanya, love her, she's like telling me, like therapy is not meant to be like forever. Like you're gonna go a little while and then stop and then go a little while. Like you're gonna have your good, like hopefully you're having some good times where you're just cruising, and something might happen. You might need like a little, she calls them a little tune up. So we've been working together for like 4 or 5 months now. It'll be 6 months in January, I believe. And I wouldn't change a thing. Like I said, I would recommend it to anybody, even if it is just to talk 1 or 2 things out. Like you don't have to have any serious mental issues, but you might find something that bothers you that you didn't even realize. So I hope that you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next week where I talk about December and my TBR and what's going on then. So I will see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, leave a review, do all the things. Share with your friends, tag me in posts. I love to see it. And community is what I'm all about. So talk to me. Let's talk. I want to know if you're listening to this, what your thoughts are. Let's reciprocate this talking. Okay, talk back to me, please. Talk back to me, please. I'm like looking at myself in a monitor, and I want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to myself. So please interact with me. I love it. That's what I'm here for. That's That's my goal, is to interact with you and to have community and to feel like I'm not alone, because I hope you don't feel like you're alone, because you're not alone. And I'm rambling now, but I will see you next week. So we'll see ya.